Hearst Castle. 20 years come back. 20 years we come back Hearst Castle. We have dressing room inside.
Đây, bỏ vô.
I would like to welcome you to Hearst State Historical Monument, better known as Hearst Castle. As we begin the riding portion of your tour, we ask for your cooperation. Please stay seated at all times and keep your head and arms inside the windows. Please turn your cell phones to mute. If you have trash to dispose of, there will be a trash container when you exit. All his life, William Randolph Hearst referred to this place as the Ranch at San Simeon, even though in later years he gave it a more formal name, La Cuesta and Country. Hundreds of glamorous guests traveled the same road to visit the castle in the 1920s and 30s. But imagine Mr. Hearst first as young William, a boy from Missouri in the 1850s looking for gold. The geology that caused these steep hills to rise from the ocean floor millions of years ago was the same factor that brought precious minerals like gold, silver, and copper closer to the Earth's surface, allowing them to wash down the high mountain creeks of the West. Though thousands came west looking for easy riches during the gold rush, few succeeded. George Hearst was a skilled miner and geologist, and became one of America's richest men with investments in Comstock silver, and copper, and Homestake gold mines. But he never mined in this region. George Hearst bought the land at San Simeon in 1865 as a cattle and horse ranch. The open-fronted shelters made of logs that were built for animals in Mr. Hearst's zoo. His love of animals drove him to create the largest private zoo in America, filled with exotic animals from all over the world. You may see birds and tawny animals that resemble mountain goats. They are known as howdads and are descendants of Mr. Hearst's original herd. still roaming these hills and mingling with the cattle. Originally, this land was William Randolph Hearst was 56 in 1919 when his mother Phoebe died, his father having passed away earlier. William inherited this land he had loved nearly all his life, and immediately hired a talented and singular architect, Julia Morgan, whose firm was located in San Francisco. Hearst was overheard walking into Miss Morgan's office and announcing he was tired of camping in tents. I'm getting a little old for that. I'm thinking of building a little mountain almost 6 miles east of this hilltop. To this day, water provided to the estate comes from the same 1.5 million gallon reservoir built by Miss Morgan and Mr. Hearst in the 1930s. Some of it is stored in tanks atop the castle's bell towers. You may also glimpse a 16 million gallon reservoir recently built by the Hearst Corporation to provide water for the current family ranch operation. The Mediterranean climate of this region brings hot, dry summers and cool, wet winters, a perfect setting for the native oak trees known as coastal live oaks, or Quercus agrifolia. These are the large trees we pass, which have spreading low branches, small dark green leaves, and rough brown bark. Mr. Hearst and Miss Morgan designed the road to wind around the trees, some of which are more than 300 years old. On the hilltop, they sited the buildings around the oaks, and occasionally even moved the massive oak out of the way as the castle grew. You'll notice the hillsides are also covered with grasses. With the winter rains, these grasses turn a rich green. In summer and fall, they change color to a golden brown. Mr. Hearst filled these pastures with his exotic zoo animals. In his day, guests traveling this road would have passed by antelopes, yaks, giraffes, llamas, water buffalo, bison, and more than 100 other species. Most are gone now, but in addition to the audads, today you might see sambar deer and Roosevelt elk mingled with the cattle. Keep watching. You may also glimpse some animals native to the area, including deer, foxes, and coyotes, as well as the large structure Hearst and Julia Morgan called Casa Grande, which means big house in Spanish, now commonly referred to as the castle. The road was designed so the castle would appear and disappear as you climb higher. Upon reaching the top of the knoll, we will travel through a landscaped area filled with fruit trees, which supplied some of the food in Hearst's time at the ranch. He grew nearly all his food on site, including beef, poultry, dairy products, and fruits and vegetables. You may also see on the left the remains of a columned arbor known as the pergola. It was a path for walking or riding through on horseback. Its columns were planted with fruit trees, apples, quince, plums, cherries, peaches, and apricots, among others, and it was canopied with grapes. At over a mile in length, it was laughingly referred to by Julia Morgan as the longest pergola in captivity. As we near the hilltop, your walking tour is about to begin. We ask for your help again, preserving this remarkable estate. While on tour, please touch only the handrails of concrete and black iron, and avoid touching or leaning against any other objects. And inside the buildings, please remain on the tour carpeting. Flash photography is allowed outdoors only. Please turn off your flash when you go inside the buildings. Your tour will take a one-way route over the hilltop without doubling back, so be sure to take your photographs when you see them. Photography for personal use is very much encouraged, but written permission must be obtained for publication. Please turn off your cell phones.
Turkeys!
Bottled water is allowed, but no other food or drink. Chewing gum must be disposed of in the trash containers as you leave the bus. We request that you stay with your group at all times. Ask your guides if you need any assistance. And now we invite you to imagine what it would have been like to visit this glamorous estate in Mr. Hearst's time. For him, it was always the enchanted hill. Get ready for your enchantment to begin.
All right, as you exit the bus, make sure you take everything with you. There are trash cans here if you need them. Watch the last step as you get off the bus. It's a big one. Tall people, watch your head. It's not as soft as it looks. 48.
48 people.
Get ourselves offloaded, gathered up here for a quick moment. How are we all doing this morning? Excellent, excellent. Oh no! You folks so to take as many photographs as you like, but try to get your pictures done in the beginning. It's very important that we stay together as a group. I promise you're not going to hurt my feelings whatsoever.
You'll get a chance to take lots of photos of that.
Like no, still fog, man. Looks like an ocean of clouds out there right now. Yeah. I know all about that. I live on my sailboat out on the mooring in Rope 8. This one time, like, I'm cooking breakfast. Let's clear and let's flip an egg. Let's back up. Oh, never mind. Kind of like it's not a little bit quieter on the bay. Let's just kayak or end up going around. Sometimes early in the morning, I don't suppose these folks realize there are people living on boats. They're just having these very loud conversations like, man, my coffee's not ready. I don't need to hear about this right now. Alrighty, everyone. William Randolph Hearst. He was born on April 29th of 1863. His parents were George Hearst and Phoebe Apperson Hearst. His father came out here from Franklin County, Missouri in 1850. He was really close to the huge strike bridge for the California gold rush. His first fortune in minerals was on silver in Comstock. This was one of the largest discoveries of silver here in North America. George Hearst did later go on and amass a fortune in copper as well as gold. At 41 years old, he returned to Franklin County, and he married a 19-year-old school teacher named Phoebe Apperson. She would give birth to their one and only child, William Randolph Hearst, up in San Francisco. She had a true... Always trying to create his own Southern Mediterranean responsibility. That's when we start seeing a lot of the archives. Construction really began up here on the top. February of 1920, which is when they formed the foundation of the three cottages, as well as the Casa Grande, big house. Behind you folks, this is Casa del Sol, the house itself. It's the medium-sized cottage. House. This is how architect Julian Morgan and William Randolph Hearst were Casa del Sol is the same house inside, because inside things is almost the best. So as a guest, you may be treated to a California sunset to take you right off the Pacific. 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, that's 3,060 square feet inside. As a guest, really mind off first, you may go inside and stay in one bedroom. If you decide that you might not necessarily have the entire.
That hat's on him.
It's freaking crazy, yeah.
By the end of March 1924, grocery stock actually wife Milton, 5 sons. They were all pretty anxious to have this best swimming pool. You know, it's kind of different. Did not think this boy's going to be able to wait that long. Morgan is really known as the client's architect. She had the first version of the school set ready for family right almost the same year. It was about 48
No. You can start.
Okay, so we go to the sun.
Oh, where the sun right there? The sun over there. Mà tôi chào 4-50 trận.
You might see W.R. Hearst in here doing a few laps. He was known to be a pretty avid swimmer. But you might also just look out and see a dog paddling around, splashing with his beloved little dachshund Helen, later on Helena. Now, had you been up here, 1928, well, we would have had the second version of the pool at that time, but you could have run into Gertrude Ederle, first woman to swim the English Channel. Now, she did this August 6th of 1926. She swam from France to England 2 hours quicker than any fellow who had attempted this before her. There's a movie out about her now, telling her story, streaming on Disney Plus these days. It's called Young Woman in the Sea. Starring Daisy Ridley, directed by Joaquin Roney. He's actually married to one of W.R. Hearst's descendants, Amanda Hearst. They got wed on this hilltop about 2018, 2019 or so. Now, another guest who I would have loved to have met in these waters was an Olympic swimmer and an actor by the name of Johnny Weissmuller. He's the man that started the Tarzan yell on the talkies. I like to think of him launching off a diving board that had been set up on the outside, and while he's in midair, oh, splash, right on down the water of the pool. That could look like something out of the old Beverly Hillbillies reruns. When it pals and movie stars. You'd be welcome to dive on in there next to Johnny. He might show you a few tricks from his Olympic days. In fact, folks, we're going to get some great views of those mountains once we head up these stairs, slightly to the right, and get on top of this terrace that's overlooking the pool. You're going to be able to get some pretty amazing shots of the pool up there as well. We'll head right up here. Alrighty, everybody. To my left, we still have Casa del Sol, House of the Sun. To my right, this is Casa del Monte, House of the Mountain. It gets to change the view that we have all the centuries. Times he's bringing up members of his own newspaper staff. And these folks are obligated to support when you do science in the corporate you allow him to take on the city buildings to examine daily newspaper time. Holy Dad, you can enjoy Joseph Pulitzer and William Randolph Hearst style of journalism. Sensational headlines, overly exaggerated facts. We still have that around today. I think it's clickbait articles you see while we're scrolling around.
You wonder why Neptune didn't get another troop force. This was first ready for William Randolph Hearst's wife Millicent in 1923.
About late 27, 1928, this third floor of Casa Grande is completed, the Gothic suite. That's where you see that brown people's quarters in front of the building. Right out in his bedroom. But nearing the end of World War II, on November 44, he was in his early 80s to make it a bit easier on himself. He was staying back more there in Costville Bar. But right now, we are beside what we believe to be the oldest works of art on the hilltop. The statues, they range from 3,200 to 3,600 years old. They represent Sekhmet. She's a fierce, bloodthirsty goddess protector, the daughter in the eye of Ra, the Egyptian sun god. She's a giver and the taker of life. That's why one hand's open, the other hand's closed. Noted by having the head of a lion, the body of a woman. These statues are carved out of diorite. They're incredibly tough stone, similar to granite. That's why if you look at her there, you can still make out after thousands of years with wind and rainy weather. See the lines going down her mane and the whiskers on her face. The upper statue has a red scar that's cutting through, naturally occurring mineral that's known as feldspar. The lower statue, there is a little bit of a hieroglyph. It's got a hidden here, right in shadow. The translation of it reads, the good God, Lord of two lands. Well, in Egyptian mythology and folklore, a good God would denote a king, whereas a great God would denote a god as we know them today. Lord of two lands is a reference to Upper and Lower Egypt, or the Upper and the Lower Nile. I find this all very fitting for William Randolph Hearst, because not only did he have his media empire, but he also had the Hearst Cattle. The print below the saddle. Now, as a guest of his, after about 1928, you weren't dropped off where I picked you up at. You'd be dropped off right over here. There's a cul-de-sac down below the South Erie Terrace. You'd be led all the way up the stairs and into the front door of Casa Grande. Sekhmet, she may have been one of the first objects of art that you saw on this hilltop. Then again, you also may be distracted by the towers of Casa Grande. Make your way on up to the central plaza as we're about to do. Now, before we head up there, folks, I do have a couple of quick questions for you all. Is anybody here by chance a fan of The Princess Bride? Read the book, seen the movie? Alrighty, excellent, excellent. Well then let's have fun storming the castle. Have a seat on the marble benches here. It's the only bit of marble we're allowed to touch. Folks, right now we are standing in front of La Casa Grande, Spanish for the big house. The inspiration for this building came from the church in Rome, Spain, the Santa Maria de la Mayor. That church, however, it only has a single bell tower. Both William Randolph Hearst and Julia Morgan were fans of symmetry, and that's one of the reasons we have two. Everything that we see up here, from the formal Italian gardens, the cottages, and the Casa Grande here, all designed and built by Miss Morgan. She was the first woman who studied architecture at the École Beaux-Arts in Paris, France. After which she became the first woman to be a licensed architect right here in the state of California. She grew up in Oakland in the Bay Area. She knew all about the dangers of fires and earthquakes. Now, this is one of the reasons that steel reinforced concrete is their primary building material. And what they would do is pour the concrete in a wooden form. We're actually making these out of California redwood back then. Poured layer by layer. After 28-year collaboration between those two, it was never completed. He envisioned Casa Grande having this facade wrap the entirety of the house. Miss Morgan, she truly learned about building with concrete while she studied up in the École. That's also where they impressed upon her blending the art with the architecture. And that's why you can look on either side of this entranceway. These are two 15th century